The midsize luxury sports sedan class is one of the most highly competitive segments, and this is where the 2015 Cadillac CTS must compete. All the big name luxury automakers have a strong presence here, from the Audi A6, the BMW 5 Series, and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. The bragging rights for the most sophisticated, the most enjoyable, the best performing, or even the most handsome sedan on the road truly matter in this class. The previous CTS was a good luxury sedan, but this wasn't enough to keep up with these European rivals. So let's go ahead and see if the CTS is a worthy competitor in the midsize luxury sedan class. You do have remote keyless entry, of course. Now here's the key fob design for the vehicle. You have your remote keyless entry, your lock, unlock, to release your trunk, your panic button, and your remote engine start. And I love the design of it. And you have your Cadillac logo on the back, and then there's some nice aluminum trim that goes around the whole entire key fob, and it has a pretty decent feel to it. Now as far as styling goes on the CTS, I quite like it. The front I really do like the most, and it reminds me of the smaller ATS. I think it's very mean and aggressive looking. And then down at the bottom you have your trendy LED daytime running lights, of course. But what I really don't like about the styling of the car is in the rear, where their taillights are just getting kind of old in that kind of way, and their angular design. It's just getting kind of old in my opinion. But overall the car is much better in styling than the last generation. Now this CTS I have here is the Luxury Collection, all-wheel drive, with the 3.6 liter V6. It is a white diamond tricoat exterior with a light cashmere leather interior. Power driver's seat with power recline and power lumbar, of course. Beautiful design. And stepping on into the interior of the CTS, this is where they definitely improved the most, is the quality of materials and just the overall refinement of the interior. And of course you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake, hit the button to start. Now of course you do have a full leather wrapped steering wheel, and I'm particularly a big fan of this steering wheel design. I love the black piano veneer trim going around the whole steering wheel. And then the steering wheel also has a very nice feel to it. Very nice. You do have a 6-speed automatic transmission with manual shiftability via the paddle shifters. And of course putting it into reverse displays your rear view camera. And when you get too close to something in the rear, you can actually feel your seat vibrate, and it's actually vibrating right now. And I think that's actually pretty cool and a pretty neat feature. And let's go ahead and con the lights and the hazards, of course. All windows are fully automatic in the CTS, of course. And let's go ahead and pop up the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators, of course. And you have HID headlights with your trendy LED daytime running lights and LED turn signal indicators. And they're pretty distinctive looking when they go in that vertical fashion. Now like I said, the front end is definitely more aggressive. It's not like the doish Cadillacs you would see back in the day. Now under the hood you will find a 3.6 liter V6 producing 321 horses with 275 pound-feet of torque. Now EPA fuel numbers are rated at 18 in the city and 26 on the highway. Now your base engine is going to be a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, and then you can opt for this 3.6-liter V6, and then you can get a 3.6-liter twin-turbo V6. So there's a wide range of powertrains to get in the CTS. And then all-wheel drive is also available. And it is direct injection with variable valve timing too. Now, pricing of the CTS starts at $45,100, and that's for the standard model. Then you have the luxury trim like we have here, and that starts at $51,000. Then you have the performance, which goes up to $57,400. Then the premium, $61,800. The V Sport, $59,070, and then the V Sport Premium, which starts at $69,070. Now, competitors, like I said in the beginning of the video, will range from the Audi A6, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and the BMW 5 Series. So it has many European rivals. Also, what I have to say is that the new CTS is also a lot longer and wider than the previous generation too. Now, coming to the rear end, you have full LED tail lamps with LED turn signals, and I love the way their exhaust tips are designed as well. I think they have a very distinct look. And an LED third brake light up there. And then, like I said, you do have your rear parking sensors, rear window defroster as well, and a little shark fin antenna up there. But like I said, while I'm not a big fan of the angular design of their taillights, they do look pretty good. But they kind of look like fangs at nighttime. Now, this particular CTS costs $61,775, and like I said, EPA estimates you're looking at about 18 in the city and 26 on the highway. Now, you do have your power windows, power mirrors, and your power door locks, of course, and memory seat settings for 2 people. Very exquisite interior design. And nice and soft to the touch on the armrest, of course, and on the mid-door panel. And I love this material that they put right here. I'm not sure if it's suede or Alcantara. I believe it's Alcantara that they use on headliners. And then you do have a soft touch upper door panel too. So very high quality. Definitely a lot better than the previous generation. And let's go ahead and rev up the CTS and see what kind of soundtrack she makes. Pretty good sounding V6. Now, build and materials quality is, like I said, much improved over the last generation. Nice soft touch materials, of course, and that's what you particularly buy this car for. It's very exquisite interior design, nice soft touch materials everywhere. And places you expect them, and in places you don't expect them. And you still have that nice feeling material that was right here. You have it lined right here. I really like that material. Now, this is actually automatic. You just for your cup holders. Pretty nice. Power outlet right there too. And you have this nice black piano veneer trim running throughout. the center stack. And here's your center console. 2 USB ports down there. It looks like you have a SD card slot and a power outlet down there too. Now visibility out of the CTS is okay. The seat pillar is pretty thick back there, and I don't really like the way the mirrors are shaped. They're pretty thin. They don't really show a whole lot. Definitely not like the A6. The A6 is definitely a lot better in visibility, but the CTS is okay. Now here's your steering wheel controls. Now this is for your forward collision warning, your collision alert, and your cruise control buttons, heated steering wheel as well, and your voice recognition and your Bluetooth. And coming over to these set of buttons over here, you have your steering wheel mounted audio controls, of course, and this right here controls your TFT display in the center right there. But these, of course, are pretty self-explanatory for your volume on your infotainment system. Now you do have a pretty uniquely styled auto-dimming rearview mirror. I've never seen one quite like that before. But you do have OnStar, your LED interior illumination lighting, your sunroof, and your shade. And it is a ultra view sunroof. It kind of extends halfway back into the rear. Now let's get to the main head unit and the main interface here. This is Cadillac's Q system, and it has received much criticism over the past year or two, and that's due to the lack of responsiveness of the system. But you do have, when you touch on something, you do have a pretty nice haptic feedback to let you know that you've clicked on something. We do have AM, FM, XM satellite radio as well. Now if you want to go back to your home screen, just press this right here and you can scroll through the different menus. Now you do have Pandora radio interface, which uses your smartphone connection, of course, through your data connection. And you do have live weather, and you can actually change your fan speeds and the temperatures of your AC system. And you do have a navigation system too, of course. Now this system is okay in its rendering. It's not the best. It's just alright, I have to say. Not really too big of a fan of it. I'm just like meh about it. And you do have OnStar too, of course. Now, one gripe I do have about the controls for your simple things is that they're touch sensitive, and I really am not a big touch sensitive kind of guy unless if it's very responsive, and this one is not very responsive, and it's very distracting to use on a daily basis. Just for the simple things like changing the radio volume, which you do on a daily basis, it's kind of very distracting to use for such a simple procedure. Now you do have dual zone automatic climate control, and of course it is touch sensitive. All of these controls are touch sensitive. Your rear window defroster button, heated and cooled seats too. But if you're willing to put up with the cool touch sensitive buttons, then I guess this is for you. Now the seating in the vehicle is pretty good. I love the way the seats are designed. I could never figure out what these emblems mean right here. They put it on every single one of their new vehicles now, but it looks like a wing kinda. I never really understood why they put that there, but I love the design of them, and they're very, very comfortable. The right amount of side bolstering and the right amount of cushion too. And I couldn't complain about thigh support, because thigh support is pretty good too. Now as far as the ride and handling go, it's better than the top dog, the BMW 5 Series. The BMW 5 Series is supposed to be the ultimate driving machine, and the CTS does it better. You're talking about a brand who used to create very comfort-oriented vehicles, but this CTS really shows that they're really trying to compete with the Germans. But it definitely has a well-balanced ride and feel, I have to say. So thumbs up to Cadillac on that one. Now coming to these set of buttons over here and these set of buttons right here. Right here is your parking sensors button, your glove box button. They even have a touch sensitive button for that, even the glove box. Your lane departure warning button too. Now coming down here you have your different driver selectable modes. You have a sport mode and a snow and ice mode and a tour mode. Now coming to your TFT display in the middle right there, it shows different vehicle information including the fuel economy data, what radio station you're on, pretty simple stuff right here, just in a cool looking interface. But that's pretty much it though, doesn't show too much. And you could change the radio station you're on too. Now the gauge cluster, not too big of a fan of the gauge cluster. They look alright. I think they match with the blue TFT display screen, but other than that they're pretty unremarkable, I have to say. And let's go ahead and shut down the CTS. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle, including the rear seat passenger space. Of course, materials and build quality do follow through in the rear, something you really couldn't say about Cadillacs in the past. But this one definitely has that nice material that I really loved from the front door panels. Now sitting back here, despite that the overall length of the vehicle definitely increased, the overall interior dimensions didn't really increase that much, and it does feel like the previous generation CTS. It's not very class competitive as far as interior space goes, but it's alright. I have to say it's not the best. But you do have a very, very large center tunnel right here. I've never seen a center tunnel quite large as this. This is pretty big. You do have your rear air vents, of course, and a little storage cubby right there, power outlet, and another little storage cubby. And dual map pockets, of course. Rear center armrest with storage and cup holders. But the seats themselves are pretty comfortable, and just like the front ones, very well bolstered. Alright. And full power passenger seat with power recline and power lumbar. Now, like I said, you don't really have a traditional glove box. You do have a button for the glove box, a touch sensitive button, and you do have a glove box that is lined with felt and is pretty damp too, and is pretty big, I have to say. And here's where your CD player lies, and it is soft to the touch. Alright. So the CTS overall is a much improved vehicle over the last generation. Its exquisite interior design, powerful and fuel efficient powertrains, and its excellent ride and handling should make it a pretty good seller for Cadillac. However, if it wants to be the best in this segment, its overall refinement of its interface and the Cadillac Q system definitely needs to be better. Other than that, the Cadillac CTS is a very well executed vehicle. So remember that this is